Okay, as per usual, I'm getting bloody audibly flashbanged at the start of these trailers. Why is Pixar doing this too now? Good lord. No, actually, maybe... Oh, yeah, it's because my headphones are all the way up. Never mind. I'll be honest, I was so thrown off by just how loud that was, I didn't pay attention to what was meant to be going on. But alright, okay, sure. Nothing like the middle of a UK heatwave to get around to the Toy Story 5 final trailer, but that's where we are. Please excuse any sweat you see on my face during this video. But yes, today's the day that Pixar have released the final trailer of Toy Story 5, the last possible preview we're gonna get of how they're gonna do toys versus tech and rerun the first movie again. And to be honest, it's kind of a double-edged sword whenever it comes to presenting this movie, I feel like, because I do think there is an element of less is more. No other Toy Story movie has been more on the back foot when it comes to criticism and appeal. So the less we know, the more likely we are to go see it out of curiosity. And I think maybe the marketing team picked up on that because there is a lot of recycled footage from the earlier trailers. There is not a lot of new stuff to see. And what we do see, I'm getting less and less interested in.
Good after Jesse called for help.
Alright, so the final trailer is an extra 1 minute and 45 seconds, and we're just replaying the hits, are we? I see. To be fair, I guess less is more. If you make it the most mysterious Toy Story movie, then there's more chance people will see it out of curiosity, and less likely to disappoint the masses. I see it. It's not really a final trailer, is it? I have long been following the marketing campaign behind Toy Story 5, and at its core, I really like the idea of its messaging. The fact that they're actually tackling iPad babies is immaculate. A well-needed message and story that can tell a really good tale if it's handled well. But against all of this marketing, there's been all sorts of weird hiccups along the way, and a lot of things that general audiences just aren't that into. Why is Woody back? Why is he old? Why are we repeating the first movie so damn much? Maybe that's a me thing. But I don't know, I kind of like artistic integrity. There's a certain point where you can have nice references to your own material, and then there's other points where it's just a little much. The idea of taking Woody and Buzz's character dynamic and repeating the argument stage from the first movie? I think that's great. It's a great dynamic to play around with. It worked the first time, and you can take it in new directions now. And though the second trailer had all sorts of repeats of the first movie, this third one only goes to further it more. You can literally see me be briefly excited and then disappointed upon the first one in this trailer.
No stuff. Oh, hey, Buzz, what is that? What? Where?
Oh, hey, Buzz, look at Alien. Wow, okay. Okay. You could see me just go through the full trajectory of that where I was like, oh, wow, I recognize that. What a cool reference. Oh, yeah, I remember it's now part of one of dozens and dozens of references back to the first movie that doesn't feel like tying up a loose end or a knot. It just feels more like bait to make me seem interested when it's otherwise undeserved. Also, hey, maybe I should put my lights on. That might be a good idea, eh? This heat wave is getting to me. I am working slower than usual. Ow.
Hey.
I've also got to kind of say, I'm not digging Buzz's voice this time. Maybe it's the exact clips that are coming out of this exact final trailer so far, but it feels, I mean, they're just aging, I'm sure. I mean, this has been going on for, what, 31 years? Buzz doesn't feel as buzzy as he did before. Woody at least sounds aged and it works. I don't know. Woody Allen. Because I do start to feel like it's only made as a way to paste together entertainment factor where it's otherwise not yet narratively earned. Now, maybe the Buzz Look at Alien one is one of the nicer versions of that. I would argue it is probably the most subtle one in all that we've seen so far, but it doesn't really get better from here. What the plot is meant to be mostly about is the new evil iPad tablet, who I do think has some really good applications, specifically when it comes to the conflict work behind some of this storytelling. Because there is surprisingly a real direct threat when you have a device with access to the internet and the decisions it can make for the toys set in the bedroom, physically.
Oh, come on! She's getting away, Buzz!
Oh, okay, so, you know, here's a fun thing of all things. I actually think there is a decent Pixar conflict hidden in this trailer, or in this movie, but the trailer specifically blocked it out. When Jessie's attacking the leapfrog, whatever it's called, Lilypad, she has on her screen an eBay page for selling a cowboy doll. Literally as if threatening to say, I have the power to sell you and get rid of you. That is a great conflict of technology versus toys. That is way better than, wow, you called Jessica. Like, God, Marketing team!
She's getting away, Buzz!
Same as well as sending photos to @HorseGirl. Literally giving it away to a buyer. They're not then gonna do Emily, are they? No, I don't think this movie has that capacity. Could only reference it again with the exact same shot composition again from another great past Toy Story movie. But as the start of that reaction clip probably hinted at, that's not actually what this trailer focused on as its actual conflict. I had to drag that out from pointing out a real Easter egg, the visual. I used my eyes instead of my ears. The actual conflict that this movie has invented for Jessie versus the iPad is this.
Jessica.
Oh, no.
J-word.
Oh, okay. Again, it's kind of like a... You know, this feels like a beat you would have discovered after 8 hours of Jessie, or sorry, only 6. Once again, just adding extra new things to these established characters to make an excuse of a conflict. How dare a new character possibly refer to someone by a name they're not aware is a bad name to call them right now? Nah. You know, it's not the best conflict Pixar has ever written. You know, it's a little Back to the Future 2 to me, you know? They just randomly came up with, nobody calls me chicken. Alright, you know? That being said, I think Jessie can do a lot of good things in this movie, and I'm very glad she does have more of the limelight. It is still a bit of an ensemble cast because Woody is back, and Buzz is there, and there's probably all sorts of other upfront characters doing things.
That's not gonna work.
It's weird, every time Buzz appears in a newer movie, his relationship dynamics kind of just change every time. Technically, they're reversing back to number 1 from the first movie in order to make this one palatable. It's interesting that now he's doubting his, I would assume, established romantic partner, Jessie. It really is like just a spin of the wheel of how's Buzz going to articulate this time. His dialogue choices are different every movie. But one of the other major... It's probably a spoiler. It's a third act thing. I'm sorry. It's the final trailer. It's the only new content we really have to show. That does have to do with Jessie is actually revealing one of the big set pieces that she gets to play around with that perfectly fits into the logic of Toy Story. And again, I'm surprised hasn't been done before. Been 31 years, guys. Hey there, thank you for making it to the halfway mark of this video. Come subscribe if you haven't already for more Toy Story content. We'll have a playlist linked down below for every time we've talked about anything Toy Story. The scenes that changed the Toy Story movies, the amazing Toy Story 1, the spin-off Toy Story movies. We've done all of them, just about. So come subscribe if you're interested in any of that. And now to the second half of this video. Oh! Hey, that's cool. The idea of a toy cowgirl riding a real horse, that is a really cool adaptation. Wow, the Toy Story universe really does always have something to share. What's next? Buzz Lightyear in an actual rocket? Or, well, I guess they already did Potato Head inside of a tortilla, so. Incredible. And animals are allowed to see them. Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, wow, the rule book is fine with that. Like, that is really, really cool. Now, there could be all sorts of reasons why they're putting Jessie in the limelight, but I do also think it's meant to hopefully, but also, and this is a problem in its own way, ping on one of the most emotional beats of the entire Toy Story saga, because she has one of the most emotional backstories of all the characters, and it does look like this movie is retreading that again. In some form.
We were playing.
Oh yeah, look, there it is. There's the shot I was referring to. They brought it back for the final trailer. God, I really hope it's a flashback? Do I want it to be a flashback that they've pasted over? Or do I want it to be a remaster that they've done again? No, I don't think I want that. God, I don't know what I want. Maybe just leave things alone. Why are we on the 5th movie by now? Is it cheap that they are going to be touching on and replaying emotional beats of the past in one of the best examples they've ever done in their entire quintrilogy? God, what a terrible fact, quintrilogy. I mean, that was great the first time. I made a scene breakdown on it for a reason. But I don't know. I hope they get to hit a real modern emotional beat at the end. It's what made Toy Story 4 defendable. It's what made Toy Story 3 definitive. It's what made Toy Story 2 a masterpiece, and it's damn well iconic in Toy Story 1 as well. It is the beating heart of this whole franchise, and I struggle to see it in all of this marketing material so far. Glad it's got a message. I hope they nail it. Whilst at the same time, this is still a modern Toy Story movie. 4 isn't too well liked, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the Forky jokes. They're still here in the 5th one.
Donut.
No, sweetie. Donated.
I mean, hey, at least they're consistent. That's a very Toy Story 4 joke. They weren't the best jokes, but it's at least consistent in this final era. interesting now as well to see that they've hired Slinky to do the ear through the wall thing rather than like Potato Head doing the eye through the wall thing. You know, it's an interesting change. And a lot of the things that are otherwise exclusive to Toy Story 5 so far are just recycled from the previous trailers. Like, I really have a lot of this footage to just skip over. It's a real shame.
No way.
Oh yeah, and then we also have that Buzz element again, with all the exact same recycled footage. I mean, I guess that's good. Just makes me grumble here when I'm making an effort to see every individual main trailer like this. And instead, in its place, we have a faintly original storyline that doesn't seem to hit any big, strong, original beats unless you extract it out of what this trailer is actually trying to say to us directly. 1,000,001 references to the original Toy Story 1 that becomes more and more disingenuous the more another one pops up, culminating into what I think is just the best final symbolic representation of how this movie just feels and is and presents itself in the last Easter egg they decided to show. Oh, I have so much to say about this.
You got a friend in.
Oh man, they can't even do Easter eggs subtly now either, can they? This feels like such like a generational movement where games get easier, films get basicer, and now even Easter eggs are up front and center so that you notice them this time. Yes, the Pizza Planet truck. Maybe one of the least interesting ones we've seen. God, what a shame. It's not as nice when you're literally baited to it, you know?
Clear!
Wow, it even appears in 2 shots. Really wanting you to spot. If anything, I feel like that's the best symbolic metaphor for what this Toy Story movie is, you know? It's all of the beats. You're familiar with it. It was iconic once. And now they'll show it to you again. They'll show those iconic beats, but it's unsubtle, it's in your face, and it's more like a roller coaster than a cinematic experience this time. It has room to hit that emotional beat if they just run the Jessie bit again. That's what I can read so far. But there's a reason they keep referencing Toy Story 1 and 2 in this, and feels a little less like its own stylistic image in Toy Story 5. Also, how would you not find suspicious just a bunch of toys crumpled on the side of the road and also move even when they're in the rearview mirror? At what point do we suspend the disbelief? Because that's also just pushing it too on a narrative front. Forget the Easter egg. I feel like I'm already ready to say this is the most Toy Story 5 Toy Story movie. You know what I mean? This does actually have its own voice and stylization, but none of the adjectives I have for it so far are necessarily positive. Its voice is specifically poorly mimicking its prior voice. So maybe they really were right to recycle so much content, because it does seem to be the case that maybe less is more. Or hey, maybe it's just the Pixar marketing team again. They have failed to tell their movie's point before. Whatever the case, it's releasing June 19th, just a good 3 weeks away from now-ish. Hopefully with a little bit cooler weather, so I'm not turning into liquid live over 20 minutes. But on that note, I shall finally end things off there. My name's been Daz. Thank you very much for reaching the end of this video. Do tell us your thoughts on the Toy Story 5 final trailer. Has it turned you around? Has it thrown you off? Is it exactly what you'd come to expect? And will it affect if you actually see the movie? And when? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts and more. Tell me any of the subtle Easter eggs that are in there. I do know there's the classic clouds on the blackboard. I guess that's something. We like those. But otherwise, I shall see you all in a little bit. Cheerio!